what we do here is go back.
Right, hopefully that is going to work. Evening everyone, Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and you're just catching a super chat which is coming in from Bob. Thank you very much, Bob, appreciate that. I can't even see what it says because I've got this case in the way. Oh, that's alright, it's scrolling up now. Evening, you filthy animals. Couldn't have put it better myself. How are you all doing on this Saturday evening? It is Saturday the 26th of February 2022. Where's the year? It seems like only last week it was Christmas and we were ordering the food for Christmas dinner. That didn't go well either, but anyway, I digress. So hopefully you're all sat down enjoying yourselves, nice and warm. It's actually bloody warm in here today. Looking over at the temperature gauge, it is currently saying 20, is that 25? 24.2 degrees Celsius in here at the moment. So it's rather toasty and it's probably going to get a little bit warmer when I'm working my way through all of this guff. So tonight we're going to be doing a little micro ATX build, as you can probably see already. This is going to be a budget build, a super budget build. Last week, you probably remember if you were watching last week and if you've seen some of the videos during the week possibly, early releases you might have seen, we picked up some super bargains from CCL clearance section, which at the time on the stream I didn't actually pull the trigger, but it did pique my interest somewhat. So long story short, managed to pick up some super cheap bits. Some had some slight downsides, others were absolutely fine, so no worries there. This build is going to be centered around, well, obviously the case itself, so this is Kolink's Citadel mesh, not the RGB version, so we are going minimalist on this. We're not doing crazy lights everywhere. There's not going to be any rainbow puke, or there shouldn't be. We will be adding some lights to it. It's not going to be a completely dark and dreary. We are going to add some sort of ambient lights into the case, just a white light just to make things pop a little bit, because it's going to be essentially a black and white theme kind of build. So yeah, really looking forward to it. I've not done a non-RGB build in actually what seems like forever, so it's nice to actually get hold of the Citadel mesh again. This was a bargain as well, CCL. I know I keep on saying it, we're not sponsored by them, we're not affiliates or anything like that. It's just good deals, and speak as you find. We have posted the deals on the Discord, and also some of the deals have been in the community tab as well, which you might have seen. So yeah, if you have, some of you may have already picked this up. So $37.99 I think this was for the Citadel mesh, which is a lovely little case. Nice little pop open side window on hinges. I do like that a lot, I really do. It's a shame they don't do this in XL version, because I would definitely have one behind me there all the time, because it's a really nice case to work on. They have changed the plastics on it a little bit, which was a little bit of a shame, I think. The plastic on the front here, around the mesh, they've changed the type of plastic they're using. It's got a little bit more of a satin matte finish to it. I'm pretty sure before it had a more of a gloss finish. This looks more premium. It does look better, but I kind of like the glossy feeling, because then it's easier to get rid of marks and dirt and dust and all that kind of stuff. And in fact, there is already a little tiny mark on there already, which I think I may have done, but still. It is what it is. So that's the case we're going to be using. I'll put that to one side for now. We can discuss that a little bit more as we're going through the build. Oh, and now I can actually see what is on the screen for the chat. Oh, I suppose I should clear that bit as well. So let's, before we get into this, let's say hello to some of you in the chat before the chat gets out of control and I can't catch up, which is normally the case. If you've got any comments or questions regarding what we're doing tonight, case-wise, processor, all this stuff that we're using, all the links for it are in the video description, so you know what we're using. Any comments or questions, just put a Q in front of your question. Kath will pick it up and then highlight it, and then I'll try and answer your questions regarding that, as we generally do, and we'll be taking your questions all the way through anyway, so if there's anything else you want to discuss or bring up, feel free to do so. But for now, who we got with us? We've got Paul Bakewell's with us. How you doing, Paul? Ugly Bob, as always, in with the super chats. William Bodie, how you doing, William Bodie? Got some of your Brent Zen. This stuff is awesome. This is a mint chocolate cream. It's kind of like a liqueur for putting in with, well, it's basically a 17% volume. So it's kind of like our Baileys, I would say, something along those lines. But yeah, it's actually really nice. Me and Kath tried it the other day, and yeah, it's very enjoyable. I like it. You're supposed to put it with like hot chocolate or something like that, but realistically, being the animal that I am, can't help myself. So cheers, everybody. Good stuff. We've got a new member as well. I didn't say who that is. Oh, Captain Me's Adventures. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Really appreciate it.
Cash card sorted now.
Oh, sugary and sweet. You want some, Kath?
No, thank you.
She's good. Ricardo's with us as well. Says hi, Mike, Kath, and everyone. Hope you're all safe. Yep, seem to be at the moment. I haven't plugged in the power supply yet, so things could go wrong. Fred Brown says hi. How you doing, Fred? Dutch Jan's with us also. Says moin, Ricardo and Fred. Rick H with us as well. Says hello, fellow mubs around the globe. We've got Deathstroke. How you doing, Deathstroke?
Bob says put it on your cornflakes in the morning. On
the cornflakes. That is the rock and roll star breakfast. Mark Berry says hello. Stuart Cleary says greetings, one and all. Matthew Day. Next challenge, can you sell a no RGB build? Well, that is something which I am kind of considering. At the back of my mind, that is something which definitely is... it is a thing. RGB sells a computer. I don't care what anyone says. If you're selling a PC, especially a used one and a slightly more budget orientated one, RGB will always sell quicker than a non-RGB. Even if I did exactly the same build, in fact I might even do that. I might build this, take some pictures, put it on Facebook Marketplace, then just take out the fans, put in some RGB fans, list the same computer, exactly the same price, and see which one gets the more responses. Actually, that's not a bad idea. We should definitely do that. Yeah, I'll put it. I'll do it for £10 more to pay for the RGB strip.
Just for the lows.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. That's not a bad idea. Thank you, Matthew. That's a good idea. That is, yeah, I like that a lot. Jonathan's with us. How you doing, Jonathan? Skystalker, our good friend over in Canada. How you doing, Sky? I wasn't sure whether to salute or wave then, so I did kind of both. One of those days. Ah, dear. Dutch Jan, who said hello to Dutch Jan. Deathstroke, yeah, there's the blah blah. Scrolling down through. Danielle Emberley, how you doing, Danielle? Antonio. Nick Barnes. Wild Bill says good evening, good evening all. Hope you're well. Yeah, not too bad at all. Blake's with us. Peter S. Nicholas Barlow. How you doing, Nicholas Barlow? David Thompson. Just to make sure I don't miss out anybody here. Aletta is with us. The vampire from the US. John Sullivan. How you doing, John? Ian Taylor. I'm always catching up, I think. Mike from the Ultimate Tech Hub. How you doing, Mike? Greetings from Las Vegas. I'm glad you put Las Vegas in there because I would have been hunting around for where you were again. I'm going to grab my cup of tea, which Kath kindly made me. Let's have a quick slurp. Okay. Mike says there's no RGB. Kind of disappointed. Yeah. I know. RGB is a nice thing. I like RGB. It's cheerful. William Bodie says it's 3 degrees outside now. I'm not sure how cold it is outside. I think it is pretty damn cold here at the moment. So Captain Meat. Pete Unwin, how you doing, Pete? It says, the kit I bought this week is great, thanks for the tip. Oh yeah, the little toolbox, yeah, that was great stuff. Like that a lot. Let's see. Alexa says I prefer a non-RGB PC. Yeah, it's very much one of those things, kind of, yeah, it's very divisive. Benny, that was the Benny Hill salute.
I knew you'd do the impression.
Yeah. The Rimmer salute, yeah. I can't remember that one. I kind of can, but I can't remember how to do it. Rob Bamford, sorry, Rob Bomford. I was completely out there. Well, Bill, Q, on version 1.4 of MSI Center, it crashes when you open hardware monitor. I've had to install 1.36 instead. Anyone else had the same? I'm not sure which version I'm on, actually. That's a very good question. I'll have to take a look at that later. I've not had that. I've had it doing weird scaling stuff, but other than that, it's been okay. Japan One says hi all. Mark Marlowe says good evening also. Dutch Jan's with us. I said that already, I think. Captain Muse Ventures, I will tell you who will buy the PC, a colourblind person. Yeah, I'll just tell him it's pink. It's fine for girls. It's a girly themed one. Although you're probably not allowed to say that these days, but what the hell. Trojan's with us. How you doing, Trojan? Aletta's a lumberjack and she's okay. Oh, good to hear it. Right, let's get on. Okay, so introduce the parts. So Intel i3 core processor. This is quad core, 8 threads. No onboard graphics. This is the F version, not the standard version, and clearly not a K version, so no overclocking. 3.7 gigahertz is the base speed. I'm not sure what the turbo is on this. I'm pretty sure it's something like 4.6, 4.7. I could be wrong. To be honest with you, I don't care. Next on the list, RAM. We're going with some Crucial Ballistix, being the, I think, was it Ballistix that said they're not making RAM anymore? That's sad. I like Ballistix. These are particularly nice as well because they're all blacked out, going along with our theme or build. No RGB, and that was an absolute bargain as well. Around about £44 at the moment for 16 gig kit. Only DDR4 3000, but because the processor we're using is limited to DDR4 2666 and the B460 platform doesn't allow XMP overclocking past the processor's rated speed, absolutely perfect. So no point spending 50, 60 pounds on some RAM. That'll do the job absolutely fine. Sorry, just reading the chat there. Storage wise, this is going to be a new one on me. I've not used these before, at least not in this particular format. So we've got Kioxia's Exceria NVMe SSD, so PCI Express Gen 3x4 drive. I know very little about it, I'll be honest with you, other than it was very cheap, £37 here in the UK from Amazon.co.uk for a 500 gig drive. It looks like it's got cache on it. I haven't investigated, I'll be completely honest with you. I, again, literally don't care, doesn't make a difference to me if it's got cache or not. It's going to be fine regardless. PCs have got to a point now where HBM or host buffer memory or host memory buffer, whichever way you want to look at it, is absolutely fine and does the job. Unless you're doing some really heavy duty file management tasks, like moving huge video files, which are going to exceed the size of the drive and the cache, etc. Otherwise, realistically, you're never ever going to notice it. And looking at this, it looks like there is a separate RAM chip on there. Got the Kioxia controller, which looks like it's a custom controller. Yeah, look, it appears there is a RAM chip on there. I can't see because my eyes are shot to pieces. Is it, I should do. You were going to say something?
David Thompson.
David Thompson, does Crucial still do lifetime warranty on RAM? If so, how do they cover that? Well, Crucial as a brand will still exist, and they are part of the Micron group. So Micron is the overarching company which owns them. Micron actually make RAM themselves. So Micron aren't going anywhere. They're a massive, massive company. So Crucial as a brand isn't going away, but Ballistix as a RAM brand, Roman Abramovich, Roman RAM brand. Words is hard. Ballistix RAM, that's going to be around the, yeah, it has got a lifetime warranty, I'm sure it has. I should have read that. I'm pretty sure it does. They always did. Yeah, it doesn't actually say. Not anywhere obvious on here. I'm sure it has. RAM rarely goes wrong, unless you buy Corsair, in which case you could probably hedge the bets that it's likely to go wrong. Right, to cool it down, we could use a stock cooler. I'll be honest with you, I am tempted to do that, purely in the interest of keeping the price down. I didn't tell you the price actually, did I? The i3 was £66 something. This was a CCL bargain. This is part of their A range clearance. I actually took the sticker off actually, but it's basically brand new. It's been opened, but that was it. It doesn't look like the CPU cooler's been used, although I have tested it to make sure it works before starting the video. And yeah, works fine, not a problem there. So £66, it's only a couple of pounds cheaper than what it is normally, I think. So not a massive saving there. Yeah, we could use the stock cooler. But I think I'm going to end up using this. This is the Thermaltake Tough Air. This is the 310. Again, the reason behind this is because it's that kind of monochrome look. We haven't got any RGB fans on here or anything. And it is actually a really good cooler as well. It kind of competes quite well with things like Noctua's NHU12, which is obviously twice the price. But this is essentially very, very close. Maybe 1 or 2 degrees difference under stress loads with my Ryzen 9 3900. So with this, it's going to be absolutely fine. I'll be surprised if the fan blades even start spinning, to be completely honest. Ugly Bob says, I thought it said tough hair. I wish I had tough hair, it wouldn't have all fallen out.
Your hair was alright, it's your follicles.
That is quite right, my hair was okay, it's just the follicles refused to stick into my head. What next? So RGB strip, this is a simple thing which, it is RGB, addressable RGB, but I'm just going to set this up as being just a white colour. This is on sticky double-sided tape, and it's magnetic as well, so I'm going to put that around the outside edge of the glass, just a little bit of light in there, just so it looks a little bit illuminated. No unicorn puke, although potentially you could set the motherboard up to do it. It's got a 5-volt addressable RGB header, so you can plug it into the motherboard and do pretty much what you want. Theory behind that is, A, it's going to light it up so I can take some pictures, and also if the subsequent person, if they ever use this or buy it or whatever, if I choose to sell it, then they can always change the colours of the lights if they want to. That is going to be their choice. Power supply, nothing exciting here, although it was pretty much a bargain. This was £30 on Amazon.co.uk. Cylon 700 watt semi-modular. This is, I believe this is a bronze. Yeah, this is a weird one because they sell the Cylon in a couple of different countries in the EU and the different power voltages, etc. They can't class it as bronze, so it gets a white label, but it still has 85% efficiency, which in most places would give you a bronze rating. But because you can use this on 110 as well, where it's not as efficient as our 230, 240 range wattage, or voltage rather, so they can't put the bronze label on there, but yeah, it is a 80+.
Is it a fully modular?
It's a semi-modular. Ugly Bob's going to get carried away. Oh yeah, he's already got carried away now because I said semi.
That's what I'm trying to say again.
Mike's got semi. You wouldn't notice. Graphics card wise, actually for this purpose and for the build, I'm going with this one. This is actually from our good friend William Bodie. Not only does he send us creme liqueurs, he also sends us graphics cards, or did it a while back actually. This is the Zotac 1060 6GB. I think this is actually a perfect combination to go with that. I was umming and ahhing about putting an EVGA GTX 1070 in there. I kind of might do, purely because the fact the 1070 has got white illumination. Sorry, yeah, this is a 1060. The 1070 I've got has actually got the EVGA lighting illuminated on the side in white, which might tie in with the white illumination, but I want to give this a bit of a run for its money anyway and do some benchmarks on it with the Intel platform, just to see what you can get. So there will be a follow-up video on this with the installation, with some gameplay, some performance numbers and all that kind of stuff, temperatures, etc., and probably an update on the final price of what it all cost. Obviously, I won't be putting the price of the graphics card in, but at the moment, starting to see some graphics cards coming down in price. So something like a GTX 1650, you can pick up at the moment for about 170 here in the UK, which kind of almost competes with this in some respects, price-wise. if you were to buy one of these on the used market at the moment, it's just a ridiculous thing. So you could pay anything from £100 if you're extremely lucky, up to £350 if you're very unlucky. So there's loads of options. The 1066 gig is one of those weird cards which either gets an absolute ton of money or sells very cheaply. It's a really bizarre kind of point because people don't realise actually how powerful the 1060 is. And it still is to this very day. You could probably run it against probably a 1660 and there's not going to be a massive difference in them. Although this will use a bit more power. Alright, so that's the GPU we're going to be using. I've also got a Chromax fan from Noctua. Just a plain black Chromax NFA12, I believe that is. What does it say? You'd think it'd say, oh yeah, sorry, NFS12. So this is an airflow optimized fan. I'm going to stick this in the back of the case because the case only comes with 2 at the front. So needs something really to exhaust the temperatures, gas, air, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to stick that in there as well. Clearly not a budget part, but for the intended purpose and for the kind of look I'm aiming for, it's going to do the job. I was tempted to buy a pack of Arctic fans, the like P12s or something, but I figured, well, I've got that one here. I'm not using it in anything else at the moment, so it actually kind of makes sense to put it in this PC just to finish it off, really, rather than spending more money, because you know we don't like to spend money.
James turned into the Lord Erectus.
See? Oh dear, fannies. Yes, James, you're right. Yeah, where's Lord Erectus when you need him? The last one is going to be the graphics card, the motherboard. My brain is shot to pieces. I had a massive thing of pie and chips just now, and it's really hit me for 6. I think all the blood's gone to my belly to digest it, and there's not much of it left in my brain. Anyway, motherboard. So this is MSI's B460 Pro VDH Wi-Fi. So we've got Wi-Fi, 2 M.2 slots, 4 RAM slots, heat sinks over the VRMs, etc. Pretty decent I/O shield. Pretty decent I/O setup on the back. No I/O shield. That was one of the downsides of this. Dave Aitken, who's a regular viewer, or D Aitken, however you want to look at it, offered to 3D print one. So hopefully at some point, if he's been really busy recently, so I'm not expecting it anytime particularly soon. But yeah, hopefully he's going to figure how to do that. You can do it. I have got a 3D, like a mesh one that you can cut out. But I think this one, there's a little bit too much I/O for it to cut out and not look a little bit odd. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. And also the 3D printed ones I've got here somewhere, I don't know where they are. That's the honest answer. I've put them somewhere when I did the last cutout, and I can't remember where I put them. So, can anybody remind me where I put it? I have no idea.
Harvey printed them for you.
Yeah, it was Harvey. Yes. Harvey Linden printed them. That was like 3 years ago or more. Mad.
Did use one not long ago.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's the thing. I used it not long ago, and I had the spare one just in case I messed up, and I did it right the first time. So I would have put it somewhere for safekeeping, but I put it somewhere for safekeeping, so we're somewhere so safe and secure that I can't find the bloody thing. Anyway, Afandi's with us as well. How you doing, Afandi? Good to see you. William Bodie says, I got the 1660 Ti and the TDP is the same as your 1060. Yeah, wow, that's changed, isn't it? Right, so there's the parts. Let's get on and build this thing. So, oh, I didn't tell you price. Price of this one, this was an absolute bargain. This, I believe, was either 43 or 44 pounds. Now, the normal retail of this is anywhere between 80 and 120, depending on where you shop. So we've got a massive saving on that of arguably kind of £60. So motherboard and processor together, just a smidgen over £100. You can't buy an AMD processor for less than £100. Well, you can do, but it'll be rubbish. So motherboard and processor for £100. Intel have become, I hate to say it because Seam at Night says this all the time, but he says Intel have become the budget gamer's best friend, and they genuinely have. Although, those caps look a bit odd. I'm not looking. La la la, can't see it, it's fine. Right, so let's start off, let's get the processor installed. Actually, Now this is the decision. Do I use
Any VRM
that?
heatsink?
Or do I use a stock cooler? What's that, sorry?
Any VRM heatsinks?
Yep, there's VRM heatsinks. Got big one there. And a... That sounds cool.
Can you do Ernie with that?
So sad. Right, I'm going to put the processor in. Let's get the processor in. Let's get the overhead camera on. Is that working? Yeah, it is. You can see the T. Actually, I'm going to move that away before I spill it. And I suppose really we should tidy the desk a little bit before we get into this, because you know what'll happen. Bound to drop something.
Use both.
Use both. Strap one on top of the other. Oh, I said strap on. Hang on. Bob's going to get one overcome again.
Use the 120. Stock is lame.
Use the 120. Oh, right, yeah. Use the tower cooler because the stock one is lame. Okay.
Not the stock one, please.
No stock cooler for you, ladies and gentlemen. I suppose that if at some point later on I do decide to sell it, obviously not selling the graphics card because the graphics card is staying with me. How's that looking? Was that good? Yeah, we're about there. Let's get some zoom in on that. How are we looking? Oh, Poppy, go away, lunatic. Right, let's get the CPU installed.
She loves thanking you now, didn't she?
Peter says that swig of liquor seems to be working. James Brock says yes, recycle the Intel CPU cooler. Recycle it into the bin.
Poppy.
This has actually got a very, oh god, a very unusual cover over the LGA socket. Normally they pop out, but this one actually you have to pull off. Oh god, I said it again. Bob's going to be off now.
James Miscellaneous is in and he thinks the board will look budget.
Thanks, James. It is. Hello, good evening. And Kev2427, how you doing? That board certainly looks budget. It does. It looks unfinished, which is something I thought. You'd think there should be a cover over the M.2 there for the Wi-Fi, but there isn't. Actually, that's a bit dark, isn't it? Let me put the other light on. There's that better. Bit more light now. Yeah, that's better. So that is that done. What should we do next? Set fire to Poppy because she's trying to eat the camera. Actually, let's get the drive installed.
Stop.
So we've got the Kioxia.
No.
Poppy, go away. So this is the Kioxia Exceria NVMe SSD. Let's grab a little screwdriver. There should, or it looks like this board should have M.2 heatsinks, but it actually doesn't come with them. This is actually how it looks. It is what they call a Pro board. So it's actually designed to basically just do what it needs to do and nothing else. Dutch Jan says, looks very cheap. It was, and it is. Ugly Bob says, watch the Patreon video of this motherboard today. Really good value. It is actually. Yeah, it's... What else? For £44, you'd struggle to do much better. Even if you're on the AMD side of the fence, you'd be limited to what? An A320 motherboard? Maybe a B450 at a push. But then you'd never get a processor even remotely close to this kind of price. And in fact, today or yesterday, well, no, actually, when was it? No, it was last week, wasn't it? Last week I managed to pick up a Ryzen 3 4300 GE, which is a really super rare OEM processor. And I've been testing it during the week, and it's absolutely a little blinder. It really is. Considering how inexpensive it is, considering this AMD processor, which feels weird saying that actually, that it was inexpensive being it's an AMD processor. But AMD processors are really expensive now.
See where you run your finger over.
What's that? You can see where I rub my finger over it. Yeah, it did have a bit of heat paste on there. Now it's got even more. Right, let's have a look at this cooler actually. I'm going to go back to the other camera. Where are we? Scenes, main, let's have a look. So I haven't installed this Thermaltake cooler in a very, very long time. So I might need a little bit of a refresher. Because yes, it has been a while. Nice cooler actually. It's got a lovely clean plastic smell. And I pulled the sticker off to take that top off before, which I regret doing now because it doesn't stick on very well. I think I did put some super glue on it after, and then I realised I had to take it off again. Hey ho. Right, so last time I did this it was on the AMD setup, so this could be rather interesting. Because I don't know how easy this is to do for... Oh yeah, I remember this one now. It comes with the thing for applying your thermal paste, which went very badly wrong last time, so we won't be doing that again.
Is the stock cooler copper slugged or not?
The stock cooler is not copper slugged. Oh, actually, no. Yes, it is copper slugged. Yes, it is, I'm sure. Right, so what are we on? LGA 1200. So that is going to be using pin A, so the inner ones. Okay. So, blah, blah, blah. Intel installation guide. So, pins through there. Alright, that's pretty straightforward. So, Intel bracket. A bunch of these things. That says AMD there. That says, I get it. I'll be glad when they get to the end of this and we don't have to deal with crazy brackets anymore. You'd think, like back in the day when they had Intel, AMD and VIA all using the same mounting system, it was great. Socket S370, everything fitted on everything. Granted, coolers weren't quite as elaborate as they are today, but yeah. Oh, there's a super chat come in. Who's that coming from? It hasn't appeared on the screen yet. Oh, there we go. Ultimate Tech Hub, $10. Thank you very much, Mike. Need $10 to go and get my eyes tested, I think.
Oh, it's not really nice, Tony.
There we go. So we've got the backplate in, so that brings those pins out through the top there. And next we're going with spacers. Now this is where it gets interesting because we had this kind of weird Airfix type kit with bits on, so I better refer to the manual so as not to mess this up spectacularly. So we're going to be using D, then I, then we're going to be using A. So which ones are A? Oh, it's the same ones anyway. Okay, so those go on there. We have 4 of those. That seems too easy. Installation guide, so blah, heat paste, blah, blah, blah. Oh, now we got the upper ring, so to speak. And that looks like that goes something like that. Clearly it doesn't. Or does it? Oh, it does. Ah, there we go. So now we've got the ring on the top, the ring of fire, and topped off with some little thumb screws on the top. This is a little bit excessive, isn't it? Like, I'm all for having quality mounting systems and all that kind of stuff, but this is a bit much, really.
Really random reviews. No RGB, Mike. Now I know you're losing frames.
We will be losing many frames on this. There is going to be RGB in the build, but it just won't be active. So hopefully the frames will remain. Bob says it's always like watching the Krypton Factor when watching someone do a CPU mount. It is. This one's awful. You said mount, Bob. Oh, I've forgotten this. This is bloody awful, this is. So this bracket here goes across there and screws down into there. So clearly that is, no, it's going to have to go there, isn't it, for the fan direction. So it goes like that. The fan, as you can imagine, goes on, or the cooler rather, goes on like that. So that is going to be tons of fun.
Limber up.
Hmm? Yeah, no, I had a cramp in my hand then for some reason.
Look, you're limbering up.
I'm getting old. So we're going to get some thermal paste on. Trigger point warning. What thermal paste should I use? What have I got? MX4, that'll do. Yeah, I think I had too much salt with my fish and chips earlier. I'm getting a bit cramped up.
Salt relieves cramp.
Now this thermal paste is separated, which is not good. I've only had it about 12 years. No, I'm joking. This one, actually, how long have I had that? Oh no, it is nearly empty, so I probably have had it for ages. Yeah, thermal take, not thermal take, sorry. They would hate me saying that. Arctic seem to be having a lot of issues with their thermal paste at the moment, with problems with it, like different consistency and things like that. I've got some MX5 and it's literally like glue. You put it onto anything and as soon as I try and take a cooler out of a system, it will rip the processor out straight away. Very, very frustrating. I don't know if anyone else has been experiencing that. If you have, let us know in the comments.
You've not muddled it with your plastic weld, have you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've swapped it for plastic weld and no one told me. Am I losing my mind? Well, yeah, obviously that's a given. Oh, there it is. So this is the theory now, that this goes through here and sits in there kind of precariously. That goes on top of there, sort of.
Does thermal paste go bad over time?
Thermal paste does go bad over time, yeah, definitely. Some do more than others. Depends on the blend. Some of the older kind of silicon-based ones generally don't, and some of the older ones with like bits of silver in generally don't. But some of the new blends definitely do. And it's something that I'm noticing more and more. Oh, this is hideous. Yeah, whoever designed this mounting method wants punching. Now, we don't condone violence, but certainly in some instances it is actually a good idea.
Is thermal paste same as heatsink paste?
See, that feels loose on there. Yeah, thermal paste is heatsink paste. Yeah, it's the same stuff. That, yeah, that wiggles a little bit, which bothers me. But that is, I've done it right. So which does, let's have a look, see what those brackets are for C, because they might be smaller. I think they're for the Intel 2000 series. So A2. This instruction manual isn't the clearest, to be honest with you. So A, B, yeah, B not applicable. And A, B, C, and D uses that. No, that looks fine. It seems odd that they put those other bits in, but they don't seem to be used.
Look at death strokes.
Thermistors.
Yeah.
So I could use heatsink paste I get for thermistors at work. You never know, you might do.
So could, no, it's a question, could.
Oh, could you? Heatsink paste with thermistors.
Question mark gives it a name.
I suppose you probably could do. Right, this is what it is. I'm gonna go with it. I am getting to the point where I actually don't really care. I do, but I don't. Because I know this is going to be absolutely fine no matter what. So now we can stick that on there. Yeah, that was famous last words, wasn't it? IKEA heatsink. It is like a bloody IKEA heatsink, isn't it?
Denstrate might send you a tube. Test.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea. You never know. Right, so there's the doodah on the thing, as they say.
Oh, is that sticker wobbly?
Yeah, the sticker is wobbly, isn't it? Is that sticker completely... Like, why would you put an unbalanced sticker on there? Especially when your logo is unbalanced. If you've got a circular logo, then you'd be like, okay, yeah, fine, fair enough, that makes kind of sense. Let's do it. But it isn't. Right, let's stick the RAM on. Crucial Ballistix. Do you know what? That's a genuinely sad thing to see them leaving the market. It really is. Actually, I have got some heat paste on my hands, so yep, that's better. Because this is like a matte black finish. I don't particularly want to get a matte black finish all over my nice shiny clean RAM. Sorry, when we try to just stick that in the wash.
That's my job.
Yeah.
Looks very small.
The RAM.
No, the fan, the cooler.
Narrow, it's quite narrow actually, yeah. On that angle it is. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or not. I did kind of question that when I was doing the review on it. In theory, if you think about the surface area, there's less surface area. But because the stack is narrower, there's not so much turbulence and resistance. So in theory, air can get through easier and more efficiently. So that should offset the thermal mass, I think. I'm not 100% on that. That is just a theory that I'm kind of working with. It's probably completely wrong. But if there's anybody out there who actually knows things, especially knows things about this kind of thing, in terms of the thermal mass, etc. This is a hard thing to actually even kind of prove the theory one way or the other, because you can't really add more fins to it easily to see if your theory is right or wrong. Don't know. Decent fan on there though. So basically it's the Thermaltake Tough fan, which is a 2000 RPM, so potentially you can actually get a lot of airflow through it if you're prepared to put up with the noise, which I'm not. I forgot to put that in there. Rookie mistake. Right, so that is done. That is done, so we can get rid of that. And that's the motherboard pretty much done and dusted. Not really much more we can do there. Let's have a look through your questions, yes. Alright, Jonathan says, Crucial are still supplying OWMs.
OEMs.
Or OEMs, sorry. Oh yeah, it says underneath here. Just not retail. I suppose there's probably more money and potentially less returns, because the great unwashed public, that's you and I, most of us at some point or other have probably broken something accidentally or not got RAM to work. So by selling all of the RAM and your products directly to OEMs and manufacturers, where there's like one person in charge of installing RAM and they know the job so well they can do it asleep, which they probably will do half the time, it's kind of, for them, I'd imagine the return rates are significantly lower. Unless there's actually some physical damage to it or a production error, there's not going to be all those kind of potential newbie people who haven't got a clue what they're doing and just like stuffing RAM into PCI Express slots, which does happen.
Is the cooler height okay for the case?
Yeah, cooler height on this case is actually phenomenal. It's like something crazy, like 180 mil.
the angle the camera's on.
It does actually. Right then, let's move on to the case. I was thinking I can stick the I/O shield in. No, I can't. I can put a fan in. I actually don't know whether I'm going to put that fan in or not. I don't know if there's actually any point. This is going to be a very cool running system regardless. I'm going to try it without. So here's the case. This is the Kolink Citadel mesh non-RGB. We can remove the side window because we won't.
Somewhere safe because Poppy,
Oh yeah.
she's a bit awkward today.
Stay. So actually, lovely little case. I'm going to take the front panel off for no other reason than, oh God's sake, that is one of the hardest front panels to take off I've ever known. And there we go. You can see now why I was thinking about going with those Noctua fans, because they would match quite nicely with that. It's a shame they didn't put 3 of these in. Like, these are cheap fans, realistically. It wouldn't have been a deal breaker just to put another one in the back there, just to give a bit of exhaust flow. What can you do? So let's have a look. Where's our accessories bag? I think we're gonna have to put some more heatsink. God, my brain. We're gonna have to put some more motherboard mounts in, some mounting pillars. Poppy, go away.
That's her new home.
Go away. Hello. Is that your new home? You testing out for sharp edges? You'll be pleased to know there are none. It's all good in there. Pops, I've got work to do. Don't be attacking my flipping hands. Right, you can stay around there for a little bit. Ugly Bob's with a £5 super chat. It says, if she fits, she sits. She does appear to do both of that. Better cat box than a PC case. Aletta, that is very hurtful. However accurate. Right, so we've got our... Oh crap, run over my microphone. I'm always doing that. So we're going to have to put some motherboard pillars in, some additional ones. So let's work out and see which screws they use. Hopefully it's those. No, that is her collar
Yeah,
magnet. Oh God, that's going to summon the Kraken, isn't it?
Is she consciously trying to be cute? No, she is quite cute.
It's the thing, she is quite cute.
Poppy.
Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Eh?
The Meowver board.
Poppy, I kind of need... Stuart says she's got noticeably bigger. She has. You're going to have to get an ATX case next. Poppy, come on.
Beep beep.
There you go. No, out. Out the case. It's an Intel build, you won't like it. It's got my RGB.
power supply installed already.
The power supply. Good one. That's quite good. Right. I'm going to work around you then, alright? This reminds me of when I used to go doing mobile PC repairs. You'd end up doing PC repairs with all sorts around you, bloody kids trying to do stuff and asking you, what are you doing? And me saying, I don't know. Come on, there you go.
You don't want Intel in there.
One more to go. Actually, I'm not even sure if that's in the right position.
Case satisfaction. Satisfaction.
Pops.
guaranteed.
Right, come on.
Like that
There you
one.
come. Oh dear. You're too cute. Go sit there.
Glass.
Right, where are the holes? Actually, I don't need that last one. The last one is an error on my part, so I'll take that back out. Cat is supervising. She's keeping an eye on the stream chat at the moment. Oh, she was.
She loves watching you play games on there, doesn't she?
No, Poppy, get out. Right, let's put those there. Poppy.
Where's the SSD?
It's in there already. Come on, come here. See, I'm going to flip this over now, and I know she's going to go for that. I'll put it in there. Very tiresome. This is the reason why I'm tempted to give up doing YouTube. Stop biting the wires!
This is a catastrophe.
Yeah, if it doesn't boot up, it's Poppy's fault for biting through the cables.
She's half a raccoon.
She's half something.
Pops. You've got your thermal paste on.
Come on, get out. So we're putting 4 screws in now to put the power supply in. Sorry, I'm not telling you what's going on. I'm kind of slightly distracted here. Power supply is the Aerocool Cylon 700 watts, a semi-modular power supply. Although for kind of almost future-proofing, I guess, I've actually put all the cables and attached all the cables, so they're all going in there regardless. So the fact of being semi-modular is a bit pointless. Again, if at some point plan on putting in some RGB or some lighting, that sort of stuff, then having the extra SATA connections are going to be quite useful. In fact, actually, I think no, the RGB strip takes power from the motherboard, so I don't need to worry about that. So I can pop that away back in there. Won't be needing that one. Nice thing about this case as well, there is a solid basement, so you can basically tuck in anything you want down there. And yeah, no one's any the wiser. It really is cool in that regard. Leave my pissing fingers alone. Otherwise, you will be going to the cat's home. Get her off. Yeah, that's a good idea. Out. Oi. Out. Oh God. Right. There you go. You've had your fun. Now piss off. Ah, dear. Right. I was going to say I'll put the I/O shield in next, but there's not much point to that. And actually, I think I can probably put the motherboard in. We've actually got to that time already. Yes, I'll give you the overhead view. And hopefully, is it going to focus on that? Probably not. Oh, wrong way. There we go. It's a funny old camera, this overhead one. It will focus if you move the lens for zooming in and out, because it will try and reacquire focus. But if you just put something in front of it, like that's clearly something different, with a different contrast altogether. And it's supposed to be contrast autofocus, but it's clearly not, because look, that's still in focus. No, absolutely useless. Anyway, right, so motherboard in. Normally I'd say be careful with this bit, because you want to get the I/O shield in, but we haven't got one, so I'm not particularly worried. And get that roughly in place. Would have been nice if one of those motherboard pillars was actually a pin, so you can centralise it. That would have been a nice feature. Don't know why they don't do that. Let's start in the middle.
Are you going to test it before it goes in the case?
I should have done. Is that actually doing anything? No, it's not. Wait, is there actually even a pillar there? Yep. What's happened there? Oh, it was a warning because that was in the way. There we go. Actually, I'm going to stick that cable in now. The top EPS connector is a real pain in the whatsits to get to.
It is quite blurry.
So let's put that in there.
William Bodie feels drunk from it.
Sorry, my cameraman's got the day off. So
That looks better.
that's right.
Bob's going to have a drink to get his eyes in focus.
What is going on here? Right, let's get one in. If I can get one screw started, that'll be fine. Not having an I/O shield actually makes this a little bit easier. It makes it harder. There's no I/O shield, sorry Stuart. That was one of the reasons why this board was so cheap. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I was going to put some carbon fibre over the Cylon sticker. I might have to take it back out again. Matthew Day says, is there room for the front I/O with that in place? Yeah, there's actually not bad clearance on this. We got some clearance, Clarence.
Sling some carbon wrap on it and cut the holes out for the I/O.
That's not a bad idea, Bob.
How do you know it's Bob?
Just a wild guess. Was it actually Bob, was it?
Yeah.
See? That's worked out well. Whew. It's getting warm in here. It's the heating on.
A little bit. It's gone off, I think, though.
Bloody hell.
Oh, Poppy, stop already.
This is okay, one of the slight downsides of this case is the fact that the top is actually very, very close to the top of the motherboard. So in terms of putting a radiator in, you really have to be quite considerate about what is going in there. There's quite a hefty offset, but it's yeah, it's definitely something to be considered. Actually, I just realised there's the Kioxia Exceria logo is in orange there, and there's an orange strip there. It matches, but still no good. You're gonna have to do some carbon fibre wrap. Which could involve blood. So for anyone who's slightly squeamish and doesn't like the sight of blood, it's probably going to be a good idea to probably look away. Because I'm not very good with blood or knives, which is probably not a good thing, is it? So let's grab the carbon fibre wrap down here somewhere. And there is our carbon fibre wrap. Just quickly pop the power supply back out. And we'll cover up that horrible Cylon logo. It's a shame, actually, the I/O shield would be a good idea to do the I/O shield with carbon fibre, but there isn't really anywhere, spin it around you can see, there isn't really anywhere like flat enough to mount it on. I could probably put it onto like a bit of cardboard or something, or maybe some plastic, basically like one of those 3D printed like cutouts. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be very easy to do. Or at least it would be easy to do, but it probably just wouldn't stay on there. So as soon as you reached around and touched the wrong bit, it's probably going to fall off.
Done it again.
Done it again. Sorry, Bob. Right, let's try not to cut myself too much now. This does come with a knife. Well, it comes with a scalpel actually, but I haven't got a mat to cut on, so I won't be using that because that's just asking for trouble. So, what we're going to want. I did measure this out before because it has got a measuring thing on the back. So you can get a nice straight cut. Although maybe I didn't use that last time. So, there. Sure that was where it needs to be. Yeah, that'll do it. Hey ho. Right, where did I make me tear? I actually started watching today, for those of you that are interested, you're probably not, but I thought I'll just make some small talk while we're doing this. I actually watched a very, very kind of quick thing of basically a recap of all of Breaking Bad from start to finish. And it was brilliant. I love Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad, but having the time to dedicate to it, to watch the whole thing, is actually really difficult for me to do. So actually being able to, oh you sod, being able to just have like a recap but watch quite a lot of it as well at the same time was really good. On YouTube, there's a channel. I'll try and put some links later on or something, but it's actually a very, very good thing. It's done in a slightly comedic take for most of it, which is not really what it's meant to be, because Breaking Bad obviously not really designed to be a comedy, although it did have some comedic moments in it. There we go. Yeah, go on.
I have to put her down in a pour.
Hmm?
I have to put her down in a pour, which is really hyper.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, probably, for me, arguably, I would go out on a limb and say possibly one of the best TV series, possibly of all time. That's probably going to be a bone of contention for a lot of people, but actually I genuinely think if you consider what has been on TV over the years, in terms of really groundbreaking television, I think Breaking Bad was probably one of those ones which kind of broke the mold a little bit. An absolutely fantastic storyline, the whole thing, start to finish, really. Right, so where do we need to go to there? Where's the nearest line? Let's go with that one. Square this off a little bit. Let's have a look at your chat, see what you're saying. I don't know if I'll be able to read the chat and cut at the same time. Minion says, I'm with you. John Sullivan says, best as ever. Stuart says, we binge watched Breaking Bad last year, 4 hours a night. Yeah, I was in a similar position where I would literally like watch as many episodes as I was lucky that I kind of avoided it for such a long time, and I kind of regretted not watching it. Oh, for God's sakes, Michael, come on, get your life together. I want to make this as easy as possible, but I'm making it as hard as possible at the same time. Where should I do it to? So that line there. Okay. Right. Yeah, Breaking Bad, absolutely amazing TV series. And I'm still of the opinion that they could actually bring it back. If they really wanted to, they could bring it back, because we never actually saw Walt die. We saw him fall over and collapse, and we saw the police turn up. But who's to say that they didn't bring him back to life? He did recover in hospital, and then someone broke him out of hospital. Took him to another country to go and make meth. It's not unthinkable. And I kind of like the idea of that happening. And if anyone from the channel that did it, which I can't remember who it was now, was it ABC? What channel did it, Kath? Is it ABC in America? There we go, carbon fibre wrapped power supply. That's got a kind of trippy look to it, actually. Sorry, look, I was just worried that I put it on the wrong side. No, it is on the right side. So now there is not going to be anything on there. I have actually got some Mike's Unboxing stickers I could have put on there, which Bob kindly sent me actually, which I should put on there. Or at least peel off those and put the Mike's Unboxing ones on. Don't know why I haven't done that yet. Like most things, there's so much stuff here that I very rarely get round to doing. Right, let's flip this round and see what it looks like. Oh. There we go, how's that look? Does that look a little bit better? A little bit less obvious? suppose really you could have done it all the way along there, but it's a bit of a waste of carbon fibre. Well, faux carbon fibre.
Is the camera not focused?
Is it not? Right, let's put this away before I stab myself or cause some kind of accident. So yeah, Aerocool Cylon as well. Very good series. I quite like that. Very slow to start, but actually got very good as it went through. I think we're waiting on the last series now, if I remember rightly. Anyway, I digress. So that is, yeah, we're actually getting somewhere. We're cooking with gas. Poppy, go away!
She's staying with Viper tonight.
What have you been feeding her? Cat stuff that makes her go mad. Right, so now I can put these cables away again. Should be getting good at this now. Oh, let's start again. Begin at the beginning. I suppose I could really disconnect these cables. What the hell?
AMC.
AMC, thank you very much. Go on, Bob. Go on, Bob. For those of you who don't know what that's from, that is from Rita, Sue and Bob too. Go on, Bob. Oh, it's like a frozen sausage. If you've not seen the film, I suggest you get it out on DVD or something. It's absolute class. It really, really is. Yeah, it's the opposite of class, in fact. The polar opposite of class. It's rough as hell, but it's funny.
It might not be anymore. It's pretty old.
It's still funny. There's probably a lot of stuff in there that you probably can't say these days.
Lisa, Sue and Bob's shoes.
Lisa, Sue and Bob's shoes. Very good. I like that, that's good. Did Bob come up with that one?
Yeah.
All by himself?
Yeah.
He didn't take his shoes and socks off or nothing? That's good.
I think I might have said it previously.
Rita and Sue and Bob's shoes. Oh dear.
Bob has a thing for Lisa, Sue's shoes.
He certainly
You
does.
should explain.
Yeah, Bob has got a thing about Lisa Sue's shoes, which is actually not a very easy thing to say.
Bob.
Right, let's plug these fans in. So 2 fans are included. They do actually have a PWM style connector with a pass-through as well. So if you've only got a limited amount of headers actually on your board, it ain't a problem. Because you can just daisy chain them together as I'm doing now.
Is that too echoey?
I'll have to do...
I can't stand her anymore.
Poppy's been relegated to the outside.
Inside, outside.
Yeah, the outside, the outer doors.
Bob can take. When Bob takes his shoes off, he can count to 24.
I didn't realise he was Welsh. Right, power cable, power EPS, not EPS, main power. Nice. It's bloody boiling in here. I'm having hot flushes.
Open the window. Probably go out the flap and in through the window.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, this is something I dislike immensely. Now, motherboards, especially MSI ones, they seem to be putting the USB ports in such god-awful places to actually wire them. So you have to put the wire in on such a stupid angle, you can't really make it tidy. So I don't know if I'm even going to try. Because it is quite far. There we go. So, yeah. USB 3 cables, what are they all about? They're so thick.
You forgot to put the IO shield.
Who said that? George, you're absolutely right.
There was another one earlier, but you missed me saying it.
Yeah. It's not so much I forgot the IO shield, it's more a case of there isn't one. So I can't physically install it. I would love to install an IO shield, I'll be honest with you. But sadly, it isn't to be. Oh, now I can't see. Where's the thing? Thank you for the super chat, Stuart. €10. Says, have a nice cool beer on me. I think having a beer is probably the last thing that I should be doing. But thank you anyway. Maybe later on. Because otherwise I don't think this is ever going to get finished.
And it means opening the door and letting Poppy back in.
Yeah, and we'd have to let Poppy back in. And that's just not a good idea at the moment. She is a lunatic at times, she really is. Hmm? Okay.
It's looking a bit bright.
Stay. Magnetic light. Actually, the little side light, that's great. So you can actually see what was going on in there.
That's a weird case, so wide.
It is, yeah, it is wider, which it's a good thing actually, because it means you can put in a much wider CPU cooler, should you wish to. But also, you can put wider fans on. So you can, if you at the front, you can put a 240 or 280mm rad, which for a micro ATX case is like, that's a super rare thing to be able to do. It's very rare you can do that. Most micro ATX cases are actually pretty piss poor when it comes to radiator or AIO placements, purely because of how small they are. But this does actually lend itself quite well to all types of cooling situations.
Where's that torch?
There. Why?
Head torch.
I have got a head torch somewhere. I say this every time, don't I?
Did you charge the one from Bob?
Charge it?
Did you have to charge it?
What torch? Head torch?
No, the
Screwdriver?
no, the book torch.
Oh yeah, where do I put that? No, that's upstairs. That's by the bed.
You pervert.
Well, no, I was going to read books in bed. But then I realised I can't read, so kind of it became relevant very quickly. No, I'm joking. I don't read books in bed, I'm not a complete animal.
You're in the own one.
Yeah. It's amazing. I didn't know Peter and Jane got up to so many things. They went on trains and all sorts. Wild. Absolutely wild.
That was the famous five.
What, Peter and Jane?
No, that went on trains.
It was the one. It was those books, the Ladybird books for like the young kids.
Peter and Jane.
Peter and Jane, yeah. I'm sure I had those.
They didn't go on trains, I don't think. They just went to school.
Oh, have I just done that wrong?
And the higher up you went, the smaller the writing got.
Oh, I'm getting this all kinds of wrong now. Who's that? Darren Malinga. Thank you very much for 20 Canadian dollars. Thanks, Mike and Kath. Back to work for me. Thank you, Darren. Back to work. What are you doing? I suppose it's, yeah, the time zone. It's probably like in the morning, isn't it, in Canada? Is it still the same day? Saturday?
It's
It must be.
like 5, isn't it? Because it's like 4 when we start with Sky.
I don't know. I'm not very good with times and time zones and stuff. I'm not good with UK time, let alone anyone else's. As most of you will know by the fact that I'm generally late for pretty much every single stream. I think today I was actually on time though, which is somewhat of a rarity. Please, dear God, baby Jesus and the Holy Saints, can I have, please, a front panel connector that is universal, that I can just plug in without all this bollocks. Excuse my French. What is it with front panel connectors? I know you can get adapters to kind of put them together, but oh.
5:30 in the afternoon.
5:30. Oh, I said something like morning, didn't I? 5:30. Actually, that's not too bad, is it? Because what time is it now? Oh, my heart rate. That's,
yeah, because when we start at 9, it's usually about 4
yeah,
for Sky.
that's true.
but I don't know if they were. It's 521 in the IO.
520. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'm not very good with the times. Ah dear. Right, let's get a graphics card out. Oh my lord, this has turned out to be a right kerfuffle.
Remote West Coast BC. Saturday
BC, that's British Columbia, isn't it? I learnt the thing. I sure did.
222 in Washington
Where did I put a graphics card? Oh, there it is. What time is it in the UK?
2322 William Bodie, Germany.
Someone please tell me I haven't got an IO shield in.
I have a case with bundled front IO. No, that's not enough.
I think I've worked out how I can display to see if this is actually working or not, but I don't know how it's going to be, how easy it is for you lot to be able to see it. So my thoughts are, if I power it up, I can plug the HDMI into my monitor there, which has got a spare HDMI port. So I can swap over inputs in theory, and then I can turn the camera around so you can see that it's working. That's about all I'm going to get, I think. That's the best. That's the best I can offer right now.
You forgot to put the cat in.
I forgot to put the cat in. I forgot to put the RGB strip in as well, which would have probably been a damn sight easier earlier on. Especially, oh, where's the bloody thing? Oh, it's right down there as well. Git. Hey ho, hey ho. Oh, better not do that. Disney copyright strike. Imagine that. That'd be so embarrassing, wouldn't it? Getting a copyright strike on your channel for humming bloody Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs thing. I think I would cry. Actual tears. Are you allowed to say that anymore? I just thought of that as I was saying it. I'm going to look it up on Google. Probably not. It's probably like Snow White and the Small People now or something. I apologise if anyone has been offended. Oh dear. I was just thinking of when I was at school, we had a teacher, French teacher. She was very small, very small. I should probably shut up right now. Ah, there. There goes the channel. I can't believe I've actually put a cable tie on this. Of all the things I've done in here and made a right mess, I've put a cable tie on the graphics card. That just sums up basically the PC industry there, doesn't it? Make sure the graphics card looks good. Don't worry about anything else. It'll all be fine. Okay, right. Let's get the RGB strip in. It's not an RGB strip, it's a white strip. Well, it's actually whatever colour you want it to be, but for all intents and purposes and for our thing, actually saying that, no, it will be, it'll end up being...
You haven't put the IO shield in?
Oh, I've not put the IO shield in. Damn it. That's because Dave hasn't printed it out yet. Blame Dave. Hashtag blame Dave. That is the that's tonight's hashtag for the video. I should have put that on the thing actually, shouldn't I?
I'll add it later.
Kath will add it later to the hashtags. Hashtag blame Dave. Kath's actually doing it now. Do I put the RGB strip in or not? Do I not? It has got a little separate controller. What's that? Oh, who sent that, Bob?
Just checking how many fan headers you've got, Grandad. Oh.
Bob, You've made Kafka all mushy.
Oh,
That's never good.
oh, I can't see that one. Here is Mike, and here is Jane.
Here's Mike, here's Jane. Here's Mike with his USB header.
Whose bloody dog is that?
Whose dog is that jacket? Well, I'm gonna put the RGB strips in anyway because, well, just because. I've got to try and think how I'm going to route these through. So there's a hole there. Actually, that doesn't. Oh, that's a rookie error again. Right, I've said this a few times actually when I've done the review on this case. There's a little pass-through down here for putting cables through. But for RGB lighting or any form of lighting, ideally you're going to want to light along this top edge and probably down this side. So, or maybe even down here. If you want to do down there, you won't be able to do it because obviously it's going to be a cable length. So I might have to go along there and then along the top, which actually that'll be okay. I could just not put any lighting in, but I feel like I have to put some in, just in the name of common decency. So I can pass that through inside there, run the cable through there, and take that out the back, take it out the back, shoot it, and then hopefully I should be able to pass that back up through there. And this is going to be the absolute impossible task of trying to plug in an addressable RGB header when there's a stonking great graphics card in the way. Alright, I give up. What do I do with the torch?
You stuck it on your head.
Right there. I was actually looking at it. I looked at it slap bang in the eyes. Oh my goodness, that is in an awkward place. And the trouble is with addressable RGB pins is they're never quite lined up, are they? You've always got to wiggle them around a little bit just to get it to fit. Which is exactly what I'm going to have to do. I don't want to break anything, because this board has been through enough of a hard life already. I'm not taking the graphics card out. I'm not doing it. Ooh, gets in. Now that surprised me. I didn't think that was going to go in. So now I can run my lights up there. And just lost that in the way. And I may have actually just cheapened the whole thing by doing that. Still, it wouldn't be the first one. Actually, I could have done with a bigger case. Let's see if I can pull it out a bit more. Top tip, when you're doing this, never take the sticky backing off until you're absolutely sure where you want all this stuff to go. Put it in place. Most of these kits come with magnets, so you can just stick it roughly in position.
Ultimate Tech Hub asks, what day is it in the UK? Saturday in Vegas.
It is Saturday in good old sunny England today, at the moment. Only just about though.
It's Intel i3 10105F, better than Ryzen 5 2600.
Well, the 2600's got a couple of extra cores and a couple of extra threads. So, in theory, yeah, I would probably say that the AMD chip, in terms of productivity, probably is better, although it's going to have a lower frequency and it's probably going to be, actually it might, because the 10th gen wasn't particularly efficient, yeah, that's going to be a very close call. I'm not entirely sure actually. Although saying that, that is what Kath is running in her PC, so when I do the benchmarks and stuff, I might do that just as a comparison. And see how that pans out. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. My gut feeling says that the AMD would be the better choice. But then, price is going to come into it massively. Like a £70 processor, for argument's sake, against a 2600, which you'd be lucky to pick up even used for less than 120, 130, is, yeah, the Intel is probably going to take it. Oh, that's going to annoy me. The USB card, the USB cable is running underneath.
You just said no IO shield.
No IO shield.
Arrived just in time.
Thank you. Hashtag blame Dave. That is annoying me now, so that can stay there. So there we go. That is pretty much it for all the goodies going on that side. Let's get the back panel on, squash it all in. Yeah. It's going to be like packing a suitcase, so potentially not as much fun. Oh, you trapped a cable then. Get the screws in. I didn't even have to put it flat on the table. Oh, maybe I should have done. The screw didn't go in properly. Right, let's move that out of the way before I knock it over. And let's grab a power cable. We have a power cable. You missed a trick there, Kath. You could have said bang.
I was just reading a letter's comment, PC build without any bang. There's no electric power going to it yet, is there?
I just plugged it in, yeah.
But yeah, it's not been turned on, has it?
Right.
Bang!
Silly.
Oh, I don't start.
Hey. Sorry, it has got some RGB. It's not supposed to, but it will not have later. At least it's working.
Kev's in.
Hello, Kev. Kev said bang.
The no RGB build with RGB.
Yeah, ignore the RGB. It's not there. You can't see it really. Although you should be able to see it, it's pretty bloody bright. Actually, I don't mind that because it's not that obvious, is it? You can see a little bit of LED there. But it doesn't jump out at you and say, oh, I'm RGB.
Don't know if it does more so on camera.
Let's kill some of the lights. Yeah, that's quite subtle.
Snap, crackle and poppy.
If you look at the PC in the background, there's, even though they're both RGB, there isn't actually a lot going on there, is there? Let's zoom that in. That don't look too bad. I quite like the look of that. Because you can't actually see where any of the lighting is really coming from, apart from that random one at the bottom. Other than that, there's no real highlights on there. If we change the lighting to white, which I will try and do shortly, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I would say that, because I did it. Okay. Right, so let's get that plugged in and see what is going on. It is a little bit on the noisy side at the moment, but there is obviously, because it's new and it's probably gone straight into the BIOS, then it's just going to be doing its thing.
Jim's Tech, is that a Kolink Citadel mesh?
It is, sir.
Repeat the question.
Yes, it is the Citadel mesh. And let's
Like Brighton drawing Mardi Gras, so much RGB.
Mardi Gras, the Mardi Gras PC. Right, if I stick that in there, and where is my USB? USB into the USB.
Why have you got strips in there if it's no RGB? You just can't stay away from rainbow blue, can you?
Well, it was supposed to be white LEDs, which it will still be at some point, but I'm going to have to work out how to do that. Right, where's my input button? Oh, come on, you stupid thing.
You're falling through the box, mate. Come here.
Oh, why did that not work? Is this thing actually posted? That's something I haven't checked yet. We're stuck on... What are we stuck on there? Stuck on VGA? Really? Alright, let's turn it off.
Bang!
Graphics card is plugged in, isn't it? And I have plugged in HDMI into the right port. I haven't plugged it into the thing. Yeah. Let's see if it works now. I really need to invest in another monitor.
Why don't you use that little one?
Oh, it's got auto switching on here as well, isn't it? Come on, please, give me a sign. Pretend it's Ace of Base. Show me the sign. That can't be a bad video card. How dare you? Right, let's unplug the other monitor a minute. Okay. Ah, dear. It's all going wrong. Now, this is the fun part, trying to diagnose why this is.
Not you.
Yeah. So that is plugged
It's
in.
the little monitor, Sky said.
I wonder if that's not plugged in far enough. Yeah, I might have to grab that. I should have grabbed it to the beginning actually, but I'm a bit short. I'm trying to think what graphics card I had in here before I put in the GT 1030 to test it with. Ah, it's doing something now. Ooh. Okay. Right, there's tons and tons of little dots on the screen. That's not a good sign. Although saying that, this HDMI cable isn't the greatest. Is that in?
Jim's text.
Yeah, there's tons and tons of spots on the screen. Let me grab another HDMI cable if I've got another long one. I don't think I have actually. Because the other long one is in use on there. Ah, there we go. I have got a longer one. Don't panic people, I've got a longer one. Actually, this is the one Sky sent me. I can tell that because it's a quality one. I wouldn't have never spent money on a quality cable. Would I, Kath?
No. Andre said the VGA LED in those MSI B460 boards sometimes has nothing to do with the VGA itself. Mine actually had that problem when I had connected an old USB external HDD. PC wouldn't boot with it, no idea why.
Oh, right, okay. I think it, well, there's weird artifacting on the screen, which has now disappeared. So, yeah, that HDMI cable is a bad cable. So, remind me at some point in my life to chuck that thing away. I think I've already thrown it away once, but I was in a bit of a fix and I needed it quickly, so I grabbed it again. Right, how can I show everybody this screen? Let's see if I can get some focus on that. We'll have a quick look in the BIOS. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that or not. Trouble is, there's a massive delay because I can't see ABS on the screen now. Right, I think that's about as close as I'm going to get. Let's twist it around a little bit. Is that borderline visible?
Kieran Atkinson says false lies, false advertising, I see RGB.
I know. It's not intentional.
Blame Dave.
Hashtag blame Dave.
What were we blaming him for? Oh, the iFood.
Has that moved over yet? Is that enough? Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? Right. We're on to a winner now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, as if you're not on a phone.
Oh dear. Yeah, if you're not on a phone, you might be knackered. Okay, so I can't see a thing now because there's a reflection on the screen. Right, so BIOS. So we're in easy mode at the moment. So easy LED control. If I turn that off, I think those lights go off when I reboot. But I do kind of want that on. So let's go into advanced. And I think it's in settings. And I'm sure there is somewhere here you can do stuff with the RGB, but I could be wrong.
Can be fixed with BIOS update, Jim's text says.
Oh right, what's that? The weird stuff going on?
Debug LEDs.
Gotcha. So it's not in there. Oh, turn the keyboard on. Where is it? What's DTM? I don't even remember what that is. Power LED, no. Where is that setting? System status. Oh well. So links there, that's all okay. Nothing we can change in there. ACPI, power LED, blah blah blah. Integrated peripherals, VGA detection, auto, that's fine. Onboard Wi-Fi Bluetooth module set to auto. Yeah, that's good. USB configuration. Yeah, that's all fine. Handoff legacy. Serial port, let's disable that. I don't know why they enable those as default. And the LPT port, like who really wants that? Power management, ERP ready, disabled because we don't want power management as such. Standby power enabled. Okay, BIOS, so we want UEFI. What is DTM? Can you Google that, someone, please, or Kath?
Disabled title message.
Disable title message.
Thanks, Bob.
Well done. Right, so enabled.
He's got to push himself, hasn't he?
What's he said now?
Where's his camera angle?
Straight in front. Don't worry, I'll come over and have a look. Dear Lord, Bob. Right, trusted computing, security device support disabled. We don't want any TPM nonsense. Chassis intrusion disabled, definitely. Secure boot disabled. Yep, that's fine. So save and exit. XMP wise, there's basically nothing you can do in XMP. Where are we? Why am I in that mode? Actually, yeah, memory. So XMP, yeah, 2666 is the best we're going to get, which is not brilliant. I need to change those fans because that is doing my head in already. Let's do that in hardware monitor in advanced, which is a lot easier to use. So pump 1, why are we in pump 1? We're not in pump 1. Well, we'll call it pump 1 then. There we go, that should make that considerably quieter. Sounds better already. And we'll ramp up CPU. I normally set these to 100% at 70 degrees, 60% at 60 degrees, and then just have some sort of curve after that. Something along those lines. Hopefully you can see that. So 70 degrees is the maximum I want my processor to get to, at which point you're going to be at 100% fan speed. I do that for pretty much every single setup as long as it's audibly kind of taking care of it. Currently at the moment the CPU core is at 31 degrees Celsius, which is fine. There's no power management or anything happening at the moment, so that should be okay. So let's do save and exit. And I'm going to stick a Windows 10 disk in there just to get things up and running. He says. Have I caught it before the boot? Nope. So let's restart that. Is that going to start installing?
James Miscellaneous, I prefer setting the fan curves on MSI BIOS in the light BIOS version better than GUI sliders in the bigger ROM pretty BIOS.
I understand. Depends how I'm doing it, to be honest. I suppose I change depending on what direction the wind's blowing mostly. Right, let's get that back. Sorry about it, just getting lined up. There we go. Everything's looking peachy, hopefully. I don't have a product key. Go to hell. Windows 10 Professional. Because I still are undecided whether or not Windows 11 is still something of a bit of a bone of contention, I think. For not only me, I think for a lot of people. Because there's so many weird quirks about it. And they're not all necessarily good quirks. They're quite often actually bad quirks. Let's get that around so I can see what is being said. Actually, I can't see a bloody thing. No, I can't see a thing. I'm going to have to figure out a way of setting this place up so it actually works as I need it to. But it may involve carpentry and woodwork and other things that I'm actually very bad at. So let's have a look, see what you guys have been saying whilst I've been faffing around. So, where's my mouse gone now? Oh, plugged into that. God. So, where do I get to? Change to XMP, yep, done that. William Bodie said that. James Messina says the bath looks colourless. Yeah, it is quite a muted one on the Pro versions of the boards. It does seem to be a lot less colour to it. Whereas if you go for the Mag or the MPG or any of the kind of the higher end series in MSI, there's a lot more colour involved in them. These are a very muted affair. Who else we got? Just have a look through here. Bob says or damn tight muff. So yeah, if you're not sure what DTM stands for, that's probably not it. At least not for an MSI board. Jim,
ours is colourless, just like this build should be. How are you sorting that out?
I've got to put the software on so that it's colourless. Well, I could just unplug the RGB. That would probably be sufficient. But actually trying to get to that thing is going to be... Actually, I wonder if I can do it from there. I don't think there's enough slack there. It's just on the inside of there. Can I pull out enough cable? No, I can't. I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to short circuit a board just for that. I'll tell you what I could do. I could just... La la la, it's not there, you can't see it. Oh, damn, yeah you can. It's bleeding through. Come on, what's wrong with a little bit of RGB bling? I could stick it on the outside.
You could put it around your head.
I could put it around me boobs. I know someone out there's probably done that.
What, for that thumbnail?
Yeah. I did actually get Kath to do that for a thumbnail, which I obviously didn't post. When I did the review of these actual lights, I said, come on, let's do a thumbnail which is a little bit shocking. So I got Kath to put them around the old front bits. And it was like, they were covered up. It was modest. It was the kind of thing you'd probably see in a magazine, but I thought YouTube might get the ump. So that one never saw the light of day. Oh dear. That was when YouTube was a bit more fun and you thought you could possibly get away with things which now you'd have no chance doing. You'd have the thought police round before you could post it.
Before you could even take the photo.
Yeah. Let's accept those terms. Custom install.
On my PC,
Yes.
3, I don't know what that means. I can log in with a Microsoft account what to do.
Oh, mouse, that one. Ugly Bob says, I nearly spit my vodka and OJ all over the screen. Why was that? Why did you do that?
Ugly Bob?
Oh yeah.
No, it was Stuart Cleary.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Dutch Jan.
Right, let's catch up. Dutch Jan. Question, on my PC, I can't log in with a Microsoft account, what to do? If you can't log in with your Microsoft account, are you trying to put in your PIN or your password? Because sometimes it changes from PIN to password without any real user intervention. So you might be trying to put in your PIN and it might want a password, or conversely, you might need to put in your password rather than, yeah, you know, vice versa.
Uh-oh. Here comes Monster.
Here comes Monsters Inc.
Oh, she's tired.
She's let out, that's alright, it's all good.
Okay, baby.
It's going to look like a fun fair ride, lol. Penthouse Bristol edition. There were some Bristols involved in it. Alessa says, that's why I never have a YouTube channel. I'd get banned faster than I do on Twitter. Well, actually, funny, there is, at the moment, I think that's done. At the moment, there's some big changes to Discord, which is something that we use on a pretty much a daily basis, which is going to be kind of like what Facebook and Twitter and all the other social medias are doing. Basically, you can't say anything, or I find it ironic that Discord, the chat application, is called Discord. If you look at what Discord means, it means to disagree or have a view or opinion different from someone else. Discord, that is what it means. But they want to take that away as of March the 28th, when the new laws come into effect on Discord. So
you're allowed an opinion to that date, or do they?
You're allowed an opinion. Well, no, that is the thing. You'd think that you're allowed an opinion until that date. But they've got a clause saying if you continue to use Discord, they can and will examine your other social media feeds, and if they see something on there which they don't like, they will remove you and take away your channel. So if there's somebody who is at the ripe old age of, I don't know, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, and it's some reason they may have posted something on a social media back in the early days, and it was something which back then was acceptable but is no longer, you could be vilified for it. So they're retroactively punishing people, or they called it retroactive punitive measures. So yeah, if you've said something or done something in the past which they don't agree with, or they feel is unsavoury or whatever, they can kick you off. Excellent. So there's going to be, I've visited Discord channels, and there's some of them that are complete cesspits, let's be honest. But there are others out there which are actually pretty good. But people have opinions, and because Discord is a global thing, there are some things which in some countries are more open, or there's some things which are less offensive and taken in different contexts. So if you've got a global server like what we have, so there's people from all around the world that are on there, there could be someone that has said something in some country which is something they'd say every day, whereas in other places it might not be, and you could get reported for that and you could lose your channel over it retroactively. So it doesn't have to be something which has happened since March the 28th. It can be something which has happened like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever you started your Discord, when maybe your Discord was possibly a very small Discord with maybe you and 2 or 3 other close chums, and you just posted stupid shit. That could turn around and bite you in the ass. I am genuinely concerned for the future of the internet. They've also got the Internet Harms Bill, or Online Harms Bill, coming out shortly here in the UK, which is another thing of basically freedom of speech is gone out the window. So anyway, that's me on my high horse. I'm not going to get too bogged down by it, but it's just disappointing that the internet, which is kind of like essentially your last true global platform where you actually had a voice and had an opinion, now if your opinion doesn't follow that of the mainstream or the majority, you're going to get penalised for it. Which reminds me a lot of something that happened many, many years ago. But anyway, I digress. Mind your nose, you get it chopped off, because that is a tough fan. Ow. Tough fan, take off your nose and whiskers.
Oopsie.
And I'll get done by the... I expect the RSPCA will retroactively kick my ass for allowing Animal on there. And maybe be showing off her Brown Star or something, I don't know. Oh dear. James Brock, what did James Brock say? He had an epic joke apparently. Let's have a look. I missed it. Jinxed comma. Oh, sorry, jinxed comma. I do apologise. Coma. Discord was meant to be a replacement of Skype MSN Messenger, where they said you could have free speech, but it appears they've taken the money and gone full Twitter mode. Yeah, sad, isn't it? It is sad. John says it was going to happen at some point. Yeah. Alexa says it's not social media, it's socialist media. I've got to be honest, I think you're not far off the truth there. It is getting to be more and more that way. Dutch Jan says, does not have a PIN code, okay. And it says, gives a password error. You haven't got your number lock stuck on, have you? Or your caps lock stuck on? That's something which can quite often cause that.
Whoopsie.
If you get really, really stuck, what you can do is you can go into another device that you can log in on your Microsoft account, and you can get a one-time passcode from the security section, and like log into your Microsoft account on Microsoft.com, and obviously on another device, you can go into the passwords and security, and you can either reset your password if you want to, or you can get a one-time passcode. You can then put your one-time passcode into Windows, things like Outlook, all that kind of stuff. David Thompson says, I wonder if they meant to call it discourse and got misheard over the phone. Yeah. It's very, I don't know. I worry what the world is coming to. The whole point of having somewhere to discuss things is having to see points of view. Now, you don't have to necessarily agree with those points of view, and those points of view could be completely toxic to you. But in a grown-up society, you should be able to make up your own mind whether or not you want to continue to tolerate that kind of toxicity or that kind of opinion. If you don't, you go away. It's like newspapers. If you don't like a bias of one newspaper, you switch to another newspaper, you stop buying it. That's how freedom of speech and freedom of thought is supposed to work. So as an adult or as a grown-up or as an individual, you have choice. But they seem to be wanting to take choice away and saying, right, we don't trust you to make your own decisions. We think you're all a little bit stupid. So rather than us having to worry about you being stupid and not being able to make up your own minds, we're going to take away all those choices, and this is what you should be looking at. This is what you should be learning. This is what you should know. This is what you should be talking about. And that just absolutely blows my mind. It really blows my mind that most of us, especially here in the UK, a lot of us, our families, historically have fought for our freedoms. And now we're just giving them away. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that because I'll get kicked off. Right, moving on. William Bodie says, when I was younger, people used to say I looked like James Dean. I didn't know what they meant before or after his accident. That was terrible. Alessa says, I'm doomed. My opinions on my mouth don't have a filter, so F them if they can't take a joke. Yeah, that's it. Stuart Cleary says, all newspapers are censored and biased. I wouldn't say all of them. The majority, the mainstream definitely are. There are some papers out there which are seemingly less kind of restricted, let's say. Nick Barnes says, question, Mike, does this mean they could close your Discord for what others say? Yeah, in fact, well, that kind of always has been a thing. But prior to them going more kind of corporate, they've kind of turned, they've done what is a classic thing. When you're starting out any company, program, whatever it is, anything you're trying to build a community or a customer base, you don't go draconian at start. You let it fall back, you let people do pretty much whatever they want within reason. If there's some things which are really bad, then yes, you obviously have to start slapping some wrists. But you generally take a little bit of a back seat because you want your audience or your customer base to grow. And if they think they can get something or use something and be quite happy to use it freely, they will do. When they get to a point where they can either sell the company or have it worth something or put it on the stock exchange, that is generally then when they turn around and say, right, okay, we've now made enough money that the platform is so big that people will use it and they will accept our terms and conditions. If they don't, they can go. We don't care. There's the thing, they don't. All they care about is shareholders, money, and being seen to be doing the right thing. No doubt there'll be another Discord type app come along which will promise freedom of speech, and that will be okay again for probably a small while until it gets to the same point. It happens all the time. It normally gets to the point where they get sold. As soon as they get sold, that's it. United Kingdom, I don't want another layout. Let's connect you to a network. Let's not. I don't have internet. Just a moment. Continue with limited setup. Who's going to use this PC? Let's call it Intel, because I'm not feeling particularly imaginative right now. I did one the other day and I forgot, and I put in Intel, but I didn't press it properly, so I missed the N, so it's like ITEL. And I realised after, it's like, why is my PC called ITEL? Anyway, moving on. No, don't track this, don't track that. Don't send any data. No. 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 And don't install bloody Cortana. No. I refuse to play your mind games. Okay. Mark Point says, sounds political today. That's the trouble. Thing is, like, I've tried for the majority of my life to avoid politics, like the plague. But you get to a point in your life where it doesn't matter what you do, politics is part of it. Even just playing a game, even just using your PC, you get politics thrust upon you. Even if it's just something stupid like going shopping, there's always something political, like health, supplements, computing technology, social media. It's all, everything has got some political edge to it, and there's always somebody fighting one way and someone fighting the other. It's just, can't we all just get on? Clearly we can't. Someone said this the other day, actually, because obviously what is going on in the world, which I'm not going to talk about, but the things that are going on in the world, and someone said, why can't we just all get along? I said, we can't even decide whether it's AMD or Intel, let alone the bigger pictures. Like, as a community in the PC tech industry, it's either AMD or Intel, AMD or NVIDIA, and soon it's going to be the three-way split on that. There's so many things in there. RGB versus non-RGB. We've all got our differences and we've all got our preferences. And as individuals, we're all absolutely fine because it makes no difference. But it's when the individuals get together with loads and loads of other individuals, and it's, yeah, then it gets to become, my dad's bigger than your dad. He probably is. My dad's quite short. Jim, yeah, I agree. I'm not going to repeat it, but I agree. It's insane. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was going to plug in my Ethernet cable. Talk amongst yourselves. Right. Ethernet. Do 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 do. I nearly put the cable right through the motherboard then into the case because I don't have an I/O shield. Hashtag blame David. Sorry, if you're watching this on the catch up, I apologise. Oh dear, it's quite funny though. Cody, that says, that's a very good question actually, Cody. Why are there only Intel and AMD CPUs? Mostly because of monopolies and mergers. Making processors is an extremely expensive thing to do, and also it comes down to licensing as well. Intel had the original X586 architecture, which they then licensed to AMD and others via Cyrix, a couple of others as well, which not really known of. Then AMD came up with the 64-bit instruction set, the X64, and then licensed it back to Intel. So it's kind of like a cross cross-compatibility thing, because they have each other's technology patents, it's kind of easier for them to cross-license. They have an agreement, so I don't think it costs them any money to cross-license, at least for the majority of things. Certain other applications or parts of the processing stacks, I think they do on a kind of like a bit-by-bit basis. Bit by bit, see what I did there? But realistically, most of it is down to just costs. It's an extremely expensive thing to do these days to make a processor because of how small it is. Back in the day, Cyrix and IBM, VIA Technologies, they were in the game and there was money to be made, so they were involved. I think VIA got bought out by, I think most of it was bought by Intel. Yes.
A bit more to Cody's other question about
Oh.
the board doesn't have any flash. How do I update BIOS without CPU?
Excuse me. Cody, I'm trying to find it.
It's not that much further up, is it? Or maybe it's a little bit.
I can't see.
Well, how do you...
If you haven't got a flashback button on your motherboard, you will need a compatible processor. There's no other way around it. You have to have, you have to have it. You have to have a processor or a USB flashback button in order to update your BIOS. So I was reading out Ugly Bob's going to get his purple velvet suit out. I got married in a green suit. Pale green. Almost turquoise.
I'm still with you.
And Kath was wearing a plum coloured dress. We looked like a fruit salad.
Plum is
It wasn't pink.
rose pink.
It was bloody plum.
Purple, isn't it?
Purple.
Purple.
Blake says, Mike, you're essentially saying it's okay for a group to promote and encourage someone to kill themselves. That's what freedom of speech in extreme allows. I'm not saying it's okay for them to do it. I'm just saying that if somebody wants to say that, it's for people to either not go to those places or, like...
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
You can't wrap people up in cotton wool, because the more you wrap people up in cotton wool and they don't become exposed to these kinds of things, like scams, like viruses on your computer, all that kind of stuff. If you never ever get exposed to this kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden you step out into the real world where there are bad people, and you're so used to living online like we all are, and you're kind of bubble wrapped, you go into the real world and you say something which someone else doesn't like, it's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt. Whereas online, with all these safety measures in place, like if you call someone something and they call you something back, it's like, that's life. That's what happens. In real life, you might get into a fight over it. So if you get into an argument and someone turns around and says, oh, F you, man, go kill yourself, like, it's just something that's said. But if they get reported and they say, well, they told me to kill myself, it's like, well, yeah, but they don't obviously mean it. If you, like, it's the age-old thing. Go and run off a cliff. Clearly, people don't expect you to go and run off a cliff. It's a phrase, it's a saying, it's something... You get what I mean. You can't stop people saying things just because you don't like them. You can avoid them if you want to. And that's the whole point of life. If you don't like something, just go on, move away. Go somewhere else. If it's in a playground and there's people bullying you, what do? You go and play with other kids. If they follow you, you can carry on moving. It's just life. That's the way life is. Anyway, moving on. Yes, that's right. For BIOS flashing, Jim's Tech is right there. You can get a loaner processor from AMD if it's for AMD systems. They will send you one out. There is a cost involved. It's a refundable cost. I think they might take a little bit of shipping off of it, but other than that, you can do that. That's a good way of doing it. William Bodie says, with the Intel CPU, you can get higher than 2666. Not with this one you can't. Not on the B460 chipset. On the B560 chipset you can, but on the B460 you are limited to 266 for the i3 and i5s, and I think the i7 and i9s will go up to, I think, 2933, I want to say. I might be wrong on that. But the i3s, i5s, I think they were limited to 2666. I think the Celerons and the Pentium Golds were limited to 2400. That I'm not entirely sure on, but there is a pretty hard, fast limit on the B460 chipset. If I had, yeah, I think if I had a B560, I could do it, because my 10600, which was limited to 2666, I could get running at 3200 on the B560 board I had. Jim's Tech saying that's why I went for an 11400 and a B560. Yeah, you do get well, that is a better solution. Also, if I'd have went with an 11th gen processor on here, I wouldn't have been able to use the top M.2 slot, because that would have been 11th gen is PCI Express 4, whereas this board is hard locked to PCI Express Gen 3, and it's not wired in the same way, so it just physically won't work. Andre says 2333 on i7s on the B460 chipset, correct. Thank you, Andre. Intel CPUs don't care about RAM speeds and timings as much as AMD CPUs. Yeah, that's why I went with the DDR4 3000, because I'm only losing like 400 megahertz, so it's no big deal at all, and it was a good price. Is that done? Yes, that's done. Right, I'm going to quickly get MSI sensor on here so I can change that RGB. That's the last thing I'm going to do. Which keyboard am I using? That one. MSI sensor. Normally you wouldn't do this, you'd install your chipset drivers and all that kind of stuff first of all, but this is kind of, yeah, a thing. James Brock says, Mike, you are correct about this. Thank you. William Bodie says, on my other PC I can go up to 4266 megahertz with an Intel Pentium Gold G5 400. Can you? What board is that on? It might be showing in the BIOS. Is it showing actually when you reboot and go into Windows? That's mad. Jinx Coma says, time for me to renew my membership. Oh, thank you. I didn't quite understand what that was about then, and then it suddenly dawned on me. Well, I should say that as well. This is something I've been thinking about recently quite a lot. Obviously, you guys out there are extremely generous in what you do with your super chats, your channel memberships, Patreon, and all those kinds of things. Now, I completely understand the way the world is at the moment. The pound is getting weaker and weaker, the dollar is getting weaker and weaker. Clearly, there's other things at hand going on in the world at the moment. So if you feel that these extra kind of outgoings are a little bit much for you, it's absolutely fine. It's honestly absolutely fine. If you don't renew your memberships because you're finding things a little bit tight and every pound counts or every dollar counts, I totally understand. And I would much rather, if it came down to you being able to buy a packet of cereal to eat in the morning or renewing your membership, buy the food. Put food on your table, put drinks in your mouth, do all that kind of stuff first. If you've got anything left over and you feel that you want to give us something, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. But honestly, if you're at the point where you're skating on thin ice or you're getting towards that bit, just cancel it. Just cancel your subscription, cancel your memberships. Hey, you can always pick them up later if things improve, or if they don't, then it's like we'll get by one way or the other. We're survivors. We always have been. Me and Calf, we are survivors, and we will get by. So if it's like tight, money's tight, which it is for a lot of people, totally understand. Just leave your memberships, leave your patrons. What's the other one? Patron, memberships.
Super chats, I suppose.
That's it, isn't it? I feel like there's something else as well. Patron, memberships. No, that is it. Yeah. So yeah, if things are tight, then please just give it a wide berth for a while. And speaking of which, Jim's Tech's just become a supporter. Thank you, Jim's Tech. That's not entirely what I was trying to achieve, but thank you so much. Fandy says, thank you for understanding. I'm a human being like the rest of you. I'm not anything different from any of you guys. I'm just someone on TV. Well, your TV. Paolo says, I don't know Mike personally, but I know he is a top bloke. I try. I'm not perfect, and sometimes I actually can be an asshole. I genuinely can. I know I can. I'm a Taurian, so I am. Cap can vouch for it. Yeah, I am. I am a typical Taurian. I'm a ball in a china shop. I say things, I do things, and then I can regret them at my leisure. And I am. I'm an absolute idiot at times. I say stupid things. I do stupid things, and I often regret them. And I have got a temper and a foul mouth at times. But I am trying. I do believe in karma. And I try my best. If I do make any wrongs, I try and right them. If I can. Eventually. Thank you, Jim.
Nick Barnes.
Nick Barnes. Nick Barnes. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Why am I clicking on all these? Is this working? Yeah. Nick Barnes' question, which supports you more, Patreon or YouTube membership? It's hard to say because YouTube take 30% as their cut of commission. Patreon, I think, is a lot less. So Patreon, in theory, is, if you want to support Patreon, is probably the better way of doing it, to be honest. And you also, potentially, you can get something back. Because if you, depending on which level you're at, you could get a pen, a t-shirt, or even a hoodie, or there's a pen tool as well, that's on there. So yeah, if you do it through Patreon, we get a little bit more and you get something back as well. But honestly, whichever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Or not, the case may be.
No, Bobby, not jumping in.
Jinx Corma, thank you very much for becoming a supporter. This has kind of had a negative effect. It's a good negative effect, don't get me wrong. Oh dear.
Oh.
Matthew Day says, good night. You'll be turning, school night, you'll be turning to a pumpkin. I don't care. Oh, Poppy's cuddling Calf. She actually is cuddling Calf. If Calf would show you on screen, but she won't because she's shy. Waldo135 says, Kernel Power 41 sucks. It does. It does. Kernel Power 41 is an absolute git. It's one of the most difficult things to diagnose on a PC. I much rather prefer hard, definite... oh, PC's gone to sleep. Hard, definite failure, so power supply go in or whatever. I much prefer that. I think MSI Sensors installed itself. Oh no, it hasn't. Get. Maybe later. No thanks, I don't want to sign in, just install the bloody thing. I'm going to use two mics, I'm going to be ambidextrous. Mark Point says, just make sure to watch what you put out, Mike. fair comment. I was actually, this morning when I woke up, I was considering just turning the Discord off altogether. I genuinely was. But I don't want to do that. But sometimes it kind of like, you think, well, is it worth the aggro? Is it worth trying to build up a channel and then just for it to be knocked down again? Yeah, yeah. If we're not on there, we are on Odyssey. So come and visit us on Odyssey. William Bodie says, patrons give money, us YouTube send stuff to make Matt fat. To make Mike fat. You do. We actually tried some of those marzipan kind of little tea cakey type things last night. They were really good. I think Kath's got the rest of them on her desk, or did you hide? I know, I hid them because I had 3 of them on the bounce and I felt a little bit sick after that because it's like a bit too sweet. I have got eyes much bigger than my belly, which is a constant issue. Right, launch. I might actually be able to turn off the RGB. Although, I'll be honest, I don't really want to, but I know there's those of you out there that don't like RGB. And I did say that this was going to be a non-RGB build. So I'm going to get rid of the red, I'm going to get rid of the green, and I'm going to get rid of the blue. And I'm going to put them all together. And we're going to have some glorious, glorious... oh, not because I'm going to fall on the floor. We're going to try and have some very glorious, just plain illumination. Although this is actually getting the better of me, I'll be honest. Poppy, go away!
Jim's text on.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your support.
Milch Monster wants to know.
Hey, Milch Monster, how you doing?
Wants to build a PC
Oh,
for my
crap.
son. What have you done?
That's what happens when you mess around with RGB when the PC is on. Oh, get away, Poppy!
Come, baby.
That is a hard short circuit right there. And has that melted anything? Alright, let's unplug that one. Well, that was spooky. Right, I think what I'll do is not play with RGB when it's on. And I think I'm just going to have a little bit of light down the bottom here. I think that's going to be the way forward. This might be a little bit burnt. Might be. Right. What was I installing before I destroyed my computer?
Milch Monster.
Milch Monster, that's the one, yes.
You nearly threw out my laptops.
Oh God, here we go.
I want to build a PC for my son, mostly for school, a little gaming like Fortnite. What do you recommend?
Depends how much money you got, Milch Monster. For those of you who didn't hear Kath say that, hi there, just want to build a PC for my son, mostly for school and a little gaming like Fortnite. What do you recommend? It's going to be down to the budget, to be honest with you. Fortnite isn't that demanding, or at least it can be less demanding. There's a lot of stuff you can change in there to make it easier to play. And in fact, the video I recorded yesterday was with a Ryzen 3 4300 GE, and I was playing Fortnite on there for the first time in ages, and it's actually a really enjoyable experience. And I find it's hard to say without choking on the words a little bit, but I actually quite like playing Fortnite.
Around €400.
Around €400. So what does that equate to in pounds? That's about £350 thereabouts. So Milch Monster, I would say the best thing to do, if you can, either drop me an email or join us over on our Discord. Ironic. Join us on the Discord and go into PC Building or PC Build Advice and put in a brief thing about what you want there, and either myself or someone else will put in like a PC part picker list. If you say which country you're in, we'll try and get some prices tailored towards your particular neck of the woods. Yeah, I'm sure we could come up with something there. It's not easy, but I'm sure you could probably do it in there. Depends if you need all the other bits, like the keyboard, mouse, monitor. That's where it starts to getting a bit more expensive if you can't buy decent stuff used or second hand.
Mundo wants to know how much it costs to ship a PC. About £15 to £20 within the UK.
A PC?
Oh no,
that's a case.
Yeah,
shipping a PC in the UK, realistically, for most people, if you do it on the cheap, you could probably get away with it doing about £25–30. If you do it properly and insure it for the value and kind of decent packaging, you're probably looking at 50 to 60. It's not cheap to send a PC these days, especially because they got glass. Right, MSI sensor. You never know, I might actually be able to get some white light in here. This is going to be great. I can't believe I almost zapped the bloody motherboard. That was a rookie error. Kolink, if you're watching this, or if you do ever watch this at some point, which you probably won't do, but please make these pins offset. Because actually getting it to go back on, it's actually really hard work. There we go. There we go. Right, where are we? MSI Mystic Light, install. MSI user scenario, install. Christ, we'll get there in a minute. Unbelievable. Right, let's have a look. What other countries? What other questions have we got? So, answered that. Mark Point says, been wanting to play Fortnite myself. It's actually quite enjoyable. I've been playing it solos, and I was doing all right, I think-ish. Then for somehow I managed to get into a squads game, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. And yeah, that was not great. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah, quite enjoyable. They've changed, actually, I would say Fortnite has been one of the games which has actually probably quite impressed me on how much it's actually changed over the years and evolved to be what it is now. Kenny D's in the house says, hi Mike and Kath. How you doing? Cody says, here's a dummy question. I like those. Those are great questions because they're normally easy to answer. Do you think APUs will replace GPUs in the future? I would say probably yes at some point, but there's always going to be those that want more. So potentially for the mainstream they might, but for the enthusiast market, probably not. And for many reasons other than pure performance. Obviously, getting a graphics card core or GPU onto a separate graphics card with its own power circuit, its own RAM, is generally going to be better. Also, the manufacturers of said graphics cards generally tend to be the people that also make the APUs or other integrated graphical units. So NVIDIA make mobile graphics units. They also make discrete graphics units. AMD make graphics cards. They also make APUs. Intel make processors with integrated graphics, and soon they're going to be making graphics cards as well. So they've got a kind of a vested interest in having like a cutoff point between what you can physically do with a processor and an APU, and then when you have to make the jump up to a graphics card. Now, obviously, that line is going to blur at some point, I would imagine. But who knows? It's all going to be down to price, availability, technology, what they can actually do at a certain size. She's getting a bit angry with you.
I know, it's because she wants to get down.
Poppy is angry.
She's playful.
Aletta says, I'd like to see CPU, GPU and RAM all in one package. That would be good, and it has actually happened with... was it one of the Atom? No, they didn't have RAM on board, I don't think. The Intel Atom is kind of almost there. That's pretty much everything on a package, other than... Yeah, IO's on the... Yeah, everything's actually on the chip, I think. The system on a chip is basically where we're headed to a lot of devices. Waldo135 says, I asked Award AT or AWDIT if they would pay for shipping, and they said that due to the age of the order, they can't cover the shipping cost. I bought my PC 7 months ago. Yeah, that is part of the problem with kind of return to base warranties. You quite often, well, in theory, you could send it back and you pay for the shipping. If the component turns out to be faulty, I'm pretty sure under the law, you can request the money back for the postage as long as you say that you are going to do that at the very outset. Arguably, if you do that, they might turn around and say the problem isn't with the computer, it's a user error. So you're on a little bit of a thin ice there, especially with the error 41. They might turn around and say, well, we can't find anything wrong with it and send it back to you. So that's going to be a lot of money down the Swanee for sending a PC back. You could speak to them and say, do you have a prepay thing or some way that they can actually produce a shipping label and get it collected from you at obviously your cost? That might be a way of doing it, or at least see if they'll meet you halfway possibly with the costs. It's, yeah, if you have a return to base warranty, it's never an easy thing to deal with. I'm using the wrong keyboard. That's the one. Thanks, Kath.
I'm quite technical.
Come on, Mystic Light, open up. I suppose I should do some Windows updates on there. Updates and security. Oh my god, there's loads. Oh, I can't see. Right. Motherboard, LED, select all. And style, we'll have steady. I think that's rainbow. That's the opposite of steady. And let's have... there we go. We no longer have RGB. We have LED. Which is a little bit bright. You can adjust the brightness actually. Let's turn that brightness down. God, I feel like a bloody owl. There's that going back now. Yeah, that's a bit better. So we just got a little bit of subtle illumination there. There we go, no RGB. I told you, it's happened. It's actually happened. I didn't think it would, but it has. I'll pull the monitor cable out. That's on me. Right, that mouse. Rick H says, I'm really looking forward to the new Intel GPUs. You and me both. I'm looking forward to those immensely. I think they're going to be fantastic. William Bodie says, you have done it. Black and white PC. We got there in the end. I've got a little bit of light bleeding through at the top.
You feel it?
I can feel it. Oh, did I press the power button? Oh, I accidentally pressed the power button. That's a rookie mistake right there. Waldo135, have you ever got the kernel power for Error 41? Yes, I have. Numerous times. And actually, there's a lot of it about at the moment. D8kin just bought, I think, a brand new laptop for his boss, and less than like half an hour in, and it's already getting it, I think. So it does happen. It does happen. Aletta says the best build yet. Stuart Cleary says, well played, Mike. Thank you very much. James Brock, has anyone ever told you how quiet the Be Quiet coolers are? Yeah, kernel power 41 is a very difficult one. Actually, my video editing PC, when I went through it, I changed the NVMEs. I thought it was one of those because the drives were freezing up, and Adobe Premiere was crashing. I swapped the graphics card over. I swapped over the RAM. No, it's a lie. Didn't do the RAM, I don't think. But I swapped over the motherboard. That still didn't cure it, so eventually I ended up swapping out the power supply and the problem stopped. The power supply still works, and I've still used the power supply in other builds.
Yeah, and that CPU label's wobbling and...
What's that, the CPU label? Yeah, that CPU label is a little bit...
Sharpie.
That does need sharpieifying. Actually, just for James Miscellaneous, because I know he likes a little bit of sharpieing. So...
Let me turn it off first.
There we go. And that way you do it very smoothly because it's still spinning, so you get constant flow of ink. Or just be lazy. I can't be bothered to move my pen, so I'll just wait for something to spin onto it. And there we go. William Bodie says it looks like it has fog. There is fog actually on the glass because the panels on it. Not the panel, the protective film. But I'm not going to do the peel because I'll end up scratching it or damaging it. Stuart Cleary says tricks of the trade, nice. No, that's good now. It looks much better, doesn't it? Bloody doorbell. Like the doorbell? Angel chose it, not me. Oh, too much pressure. So that is looking much better. Oh, crap. Yeah, I thought that myself. So, James Brock says, I heard Mike invoke my name. Oh, I was just saying about the Be Quiet coolers being very quiet.
It's Ugly Bob at the door.
It's Ugly Bob's at the door. He's stalking us. Alessa says my doorbell goes bark, bark, growl, bark. Nice. Waldo's135 says, I really thought it was corrupted files. Well, the corrupted files can be part and parcel of it, but also you can get corrupted files because of error 41, because obviously error 41 is basically not a clean restart. So something has triggered the PC into either protection mode or the power supply has received a strange reset signal for some reason. It might actually be worth disconnecting your reset switch. I know that sounds really stupid, but all it takes is, like, if the reset button, if there's something wrong with it, and the PC just needs that signal and it'll just restart straight away. There's no stopping it. So maybe disconnect your reset switch, or maybe, yeah, power supply switch would probably not do the same thing because that would invoke a shutdown. So yeah, maybe try disconnecting your reset switch. You never know. I have seen it before where a bad reset switch has caused the PC just to reboot randomly. But yeah, it's a very, very hard one to work out. William Bodie says, I don't like your doorbell. I will never go to the door. I'll just dance to it, I think.
We did have a postman dance off down the driveway.
We did. One of the postmen delivered some stuff and it was still going as he went away, and you could see him like jigging a little bit as he was walking away. He's loving it. Waldo says my reset button is my RGB button. Well, that rules that out then. James says a short-range switch, pretty good idea. It can happen. I would say, well, anything that can cause your motherboard to get either too much voltage, too little voltage, or some kind of switch, I would disconnect. So I would disconnect all the USB ports, probably all of the front panel I/O, any RGB lighting. I think what else you could disconnect. Basically, it's just down to removing as many items off the board as physically possible that could be causing an error. Certainly anything like USB Wi-Fi adapters, especially some of the cheaper ones on the market, they can cause all kinds of weird problems where the USB is not quite up to power, and it would cause like weird little USB trigger, like overvolt protections, that sort of thing. William Bodie says that doorbell sounds like something from Monkey Island. It's actually from The Little Mermaid, Under the Sea, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll probably get a copyright strike now.
Oh yeah, copyright strike. What the hell? Alexa says, if my motherboard doesn't have a clear CMOS button, I wire the reset button to clear CMOS pins. Yeah, I've actually told a few people to do that. It does make life a little bit easier, but if you have got some particularly good dialed in settings, make sure you save them. Otherwise, if you press the reset button, you might accidentally erase them. The PC looks like art. That's a good thing, I'm sure.
Like a picture, I suppose.
It does. I wish now that those were moving at the bottom to give like a ripple effect. That would be quite nice. Anyway, I've just realised the time. We've gone way over our allotted schedule for time, so we should really wrap things up. Overall, PC-wise, I'm pretty happy. It looks pretty decent. I will be doing some gameplay testing, all that kind of stuff. And to answer the question that somebody had earlier, I forget who it was, I do apologise, whether or not the Ryzen 5 2600 is the better option against this, the 10105F. Yeah, we will try and find out later on in the week, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I've exhausted all the questions. Thank you all for sticking with us tonight. It's been a long one. I do apologise for that. It's like 3 hours. Incredible. I'll never get to sleep tonight. Well, I probably will. So thank you all for the super chats, messages, and obviously your membership renewals, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely awesome. Again, like I said earlier, if things are tight, please just don't do it. Just buy some food, buy some whatever. Hell, go and buy yourself a bar of chocolate or something. I don't care. Just, yeah. Think of us as those people at the end of the list. So if there's ever any spare coppers going around, you can chuck them at us towards the end.
Just use our affiliate links if you need anything from Amazon.
Yeah. Very good point. If you want to help the channel, but you don't have the money to donate or to give or to subscribe or whatever, just use our affiliate links for things you're going to buy. It doesn't have to be like the exact item. If you click on one of our links and then go off and buy other things at the same time, we still get a kickback off that commission. So if you want to help the channel out, click on an Amazon link, go and do your Amazon shop for whatever it is you're buying, and that will help us out more than you'll ever know. And obviously, it's not going to cost you anything because you're buying stuff anyway. So yeah, hopefully that's wrap things up. Yeah, I feel we've achieved something tonight. I feel between us we've got somewhere. I've got the RGB out of my system, although if I do look at the corner of my eye, I can just about see a very slight flickering where the red, the green, and the blue is joined together. Because I don't think there's a white LED. I don't think it's RGBW. I think it's just RGB. Although it might just be illuminating the blue slightly in the background. Anyway, I digress. So thanks all for watching. You've all been awesome. Thank you very much. If you want to chat more, head over to the Discord. Obviously, I won't be on there tonight because I'm going to go to bed because I've got to go to work tomorrow. But if you want to chat, or Milch Monster, sorry, if you want to find out more about getting a little PC put together, head over to Discord, go into the PC build advice, and we'll help you out however we can. And don't forget, #BlameDave. That's very important. Make sure you put that in the comment section. Trooper C says, thank you for the stream, Mike and Kath. You are all very, very welcome. So that leaves me with only one thing to say, and that's to sign off. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you, yes, you, in the very next video. Thanks for watching. Night all.